Hi, I'm Kevin,
And I'm Amanda.
and we are serving up
All that jam.
All That Jam, Quick Hit. Jeff Mattson on choosing DSO shows.
So you were doing the Zen Tricksters and you ended up in Dark Star. I'm sure that you've told this story more than anything, but how did you? We all know John Kay got into Further. How did it happen? For me, it was an obvious choice, but do you want to relate the story?
Well, yeah, I I knew those. I knew Dark Star Orchestra and Rob Baracco, who was in the Zen Tricksters, was in the band. So I had that very.
I
Um,
remember that version very well. That was the version I saw the most. Was when Rob was in the band.
yeah, that was a very strong connection right there. But they knew of me from gigs at Dark Star and Zen Tricksters festivals and stuff. So we were very, very familiar with each other. So they knew that I was capable of covering the job. So originally, John Kadlicek, they when he started playing with Further, he thought he was going to have to he was going to try to do both, and then so originally I was just subbing for him, and then I guess they realized that that wasn't going to work. They had pretty big ambitions of how much they were going to play, so he had to leave, and and now 13 years later, I guess I'm still there. It's 14 years, 13,
Yeah, it is.
14, I guess it's going to be. Yeah.
It has.
I've always been curious, how would you describe in your own words what that special magical quality is that Dark Star brings to that music? There are so many tribute bands and, different musicians out there that are going to do different things with the Grateful Dead catalog. What's the thing, maybe not as obvious as it might seem about DSO that you just really find like compelling for you?
Well, I mean, initially, the thing that set Dark Star apart from other Dead cover bands, tribute bands, whatever you call them, was the fact that they were the first band that made it their policy to do set lists, Grateful Dead set lists. I mean, you had that thing of the Dead having doing a different set list every night and the music being very different. So they were able to do that, and then as they grew larger, in popularity and playing bigger places, they took it to another level where uh, we we have, as we do this now, as we have all the gear for the different eras of the Grateful Dead. So, and we set the stage up like they did, and we approach the arrangements for the songs for that era. So instead of just most uh, Grateful Dead bands just play the songs they want to play, and there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, that's a perfectly fine thing. And they just, and even the Zen Tricksters, when we would play Grateful Dead, we might play like St. Stephen like they did in '69, and then go into Scarlet Begonias like they did it in '77. That kind of a thing. There was no, but now with Dark Star, taking it to a pretty sophisticated level of recreating the arrangements, the gear, the stage setup. So it's a lot of minutia. Actually, it's a lot of we we know we're pretty well versed in a lot of fine details of all the different eras of the Grateful Dead, and so and so if we do a '69 show, it's a very different show than a 1990 show or something like that. And we summon up a different energy for that, and it's actually I find that up to be a lot of fun. Uh, and then of course every uh, third or fourth night we do what we call an elective set list where play anything we want, you know. So
How
we get
how do you choose which set list to do? Do you have like a bingo ball? You just spin it around and pick one out?
no. Actually, it's a very tricky algorithm that goes into that because actually at this time, Dino English, our drummer, is the one that figures this out before the tours, um, because we want to play something different than we played the last time we were in the town. We want to play something different we played the night before. We want to play something different than we're going to play the night after. So it's actually quite a bit of work to make sure that we're not repeating ourselves in, you know, as we come whatever town you're.
I bet he's got spreadsheets.
Oh yeah, no. Actually, he has. I can't speak to the details of this, but um, a friend of his made some kind of a database that makes this much more doable. But yeah, he's got to get in there and figure it all out, and you know, and everybody's hot on his heels about it all the time, making sure. So you know, because there's so many tunes, there's no. I mean, as it is, you know, sometimes we end up playing one song in the show from a night to night. Not that often, though. You know, there's just like a lot of me and my uncles out there, for example.
Right.
And
A
so
lot of
every
not
once in a while,
fadeaways, probably too.
I'm sorry.
A lot of not fadeaways.
Oh yeah, a lot. You know, actually, in one of the dead bases, probably all of them, they have a list of the songs as they were, how much they were played. You know, I think playing the bands up there. You know, there's quite a lot of Berthas.
Right. But a song like Me and My Uncle, just the fact that it was one of the first songs they ever played and it never went out of favor in Bobby's eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty crazy.
I think they didn't play it in '76. That might be the only year.
Had a moment there. Do you have an era that really speaks to you for some reason or another?
Yeah, I love the fact that we do all the different because it keeps it fresh and interesting. But I have a particular affinity for 76, 77. I went to a lot of shows in those years. I also like 69 and 72, 73. So it doesn't leave. But they're different. They're all very different from each other, you know. And I enjoy playing the 80s and 90s stuff too. But like I say, I have a real strong sense of the late 70s stuff because I went to a lot of shows then, and my and I loved the way the band was playing in 72 and 73, and then there's that complete primal that I guess they referred to it with 69, where they were just
72 to 74.
very psychedelic and savage and energy. It's not easy doing it at 64 either. They were in their 20s and they were lit up all the time. I'm pretty tired after one of them 69 shows.
Do you only have one drummer when you do a 73 show?
Yes, yeah. One of the drummers sits out, and they alternate for whenever we do one drummer show. So the next time that comes up, the other guy will do it.
Interesting.
And Lisa too. She only sings when we do 70 shows.
Those shows, right? Very nice.
And she of course sings when we do the elective shows too. But yeah, it's just built into the way it works. So.
How do you write the set list for the elective show? Does the same algorithm go into that, or do you guys?
Well, yes, and it's easier because we can play anything we want. What we have is we'll have a list of songs. It's part of what Dino provides us with of songs that are not being played at all on the tour. So we can work from that right off the bat. I mean, we don't have to stick to that. So it really comes down to, since Rob Eaton and I sing the lion's share of the tunes. We write the set list together on the nights we do an elective.
If you are enjoying All That Jam, please like and subscribe to our social media channels at All That Jam Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or visit our website, allthatjampod.com. Make sure to sign up for our email list and tune in every week for new episodes.
Also, look for full interviews on our YouTube channel. And remember, stay beautiful, but don't stay underground too long.